Moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome to Tobago Updates Morning Show. I am your host, Renessa Ortiz, and it is Monday, the 18th of May, 2026. Yes, we are at the start of a new week, a new chance to achieve those goals and to take charge of your week ahead. I am joined in studio this morning by Alex Brown. Good morning, Alex.
Good morning, Renessa. Good morning, viewers. How was your weekend?
My weekend was actually filled with a lot of work. I usually don't rest on my weekends. My weekends are usually an extension of what I didn't get to do during the week.
We need to talk about that.
But overall, it was pretty productive. I did slip in some time for some rest and recovery. What about you?
That's important. It was a pretty good weekend. I had a good few activities, but I did get some rest.
Awesome. So all of you joining us on YouTube, Facebook, AMPLIA, Digital and Flow, thank you for making Tobago Updates your #1 station. But before we get any further into the programming this morning, we head on over to news in 90 seconds. Chief Secretary Farley Augustine has broken diplomatic protocol in a raw public statement declaring that Tobago is, quote, hurting and damn vexed, end quote, over the disappearance of 2-year-old Angelo Tobias Plaza. Augustine explicitly rejected what he called the Nancy stories being peddled in the Goodwood toddler's disappearance, stating that the 2-year-old does not simply vanish or navigate ditches to the ocean in pitch darkness. He demanded total accountability and immediate prosecutions if negligence or wrongdoing is exposed. Following immense public outrage, the Commissioner of Police has assigned a dedicated legal officer from Trinidad to Tobago and deployed additional resources to the Child Protection Unit and Homicide Bureau. The TTPS confirmed that the missing boys' parents are assisting police with inquiries as the search of the Studley Park dump continues. In infrastructure news, the Division of Education has officially opened a call for skilled local contractors to join the School Repairs Program 2026 to upgrade educational institutions across Tobago ahead of the upcoming academic term. Interested contractors have until May 25th to submit their credentials via the Division's online portal or the advertised QR codes. And finally, on Saturday, family and friends gathered for the double funeral service of Keon Kelvin Nimblent and Shaka Rivers. The friends were killed in an early morning vehicular crash in April. That was the news in 90 seconds. Tune in again at 6:30 p.m. for our full newscast. Alex, public outrage. It has been a week since little Tobias's disappearance, and having to see that the search has extended to the Studley Park dump, that took a completely different turn in terms of the emotions involved, in terms of the trajectory of this case, and it makes it seem as though closure is far from.
That, I think, is what the bigger challenge is to navigate in this circumstance, because this has become, well, I mean, from the start it was always all of our concern, and to see this development now is pouring salt instead of oil, as it were, in the wound of the entire society. Of course, everyone was hoping that by now we would find some way to get closure in this matter, and that it goes on, it just continues to hurt, and it's just a painful all around the circumstance. We have made it a point every day we've discussed this particular issue of saying we're not at a place to point fingers at anybody, but we're still saying somewhere along the line we have failed this little boy, and I'm not just saying the parents, we have failed, because all of the public commentary we're hearing now means that somebody somewhere could have possibly been more of a neighbor. And it's really hurtful that we're seeing this extended saga, as it were, when a child, a 2-year-old, cannot be found. It's really just painful.
And what's interesting, in the public space and on social media, you're seeing individuals calling on social media influencers, if I may use that word very loosely, getting the information before the police service, which brings the question, is it that the public is, their trust in the police service is so low that when the initial circumstance happened, this information was not brought to the forefront?
Well, there is also a question as to the credibility of this information. I mean, I think the police find themselves in a place where they probably just have to follow almost every story they've heard. But there is the issue of the credibility of the information, and I wonder how it is that we really feel so comfortable giving information to people who don't have the legal authority, and we don't talk to the police. That raises, I don't want to comment on our position with the police, but I think that we as a people need to reconsider where we are and how we approach dealing with these matters.
There you have it, and I'm really hoping that in the next coming days, at least that we find some closure. We are hoping. I want to say today, but we don't know.
We don't
know, but we're just hoping. Because right now, hope is all that majority, well, the entire nation has at this point in time. But viewers, are moving on along to the celebratory segment of our morning. We're on to our birthday shout-outs this morning. First up on the lineup, we have Dwayne Lyons. Happy birthday to you. You have such a vibrant smiley. I hope that this smile extends throughout the day and for the rest of the week, and that during your celebrations you really take the time to self-reflect and spend it with those who love, cherish and appreciate you. Eat some cake, eat some ice cream, and ensure to stay safe today. Happy birthday from us here at the Tobago Updates family.
Next on this morning's lineup is Augustus Auguste, a very debonair looking Augustus Auguste, if I may say so myself. We wish you a very, very happy birthday and trust that as the day goes on, you're in a position to assess how the years have been so far and probably chart a direction that takes you closer to your dreams, to your goals, to your aspirations. Have a beautiful day and may God bless you.
Up next, this one is no stranger to the Tobago space. His smile is just as miserable as he is. Marlon Calendar, happy birthday to you. He puts the M and C in MC. I hope you have a great day today, filled with lots of joy. And that you take the time to really reflect again upon this new year, and that all the goals and achievements that you want for yourself is achieved.
Followed by Jasmine Balfour Lindo, my apologies, I'm to give away Marlon's name here. Jasmine Balfour Lindo is the next on our birthday list, looking very, very focused, and we're hoping that your day and your new year is as focused as you look in this picture, and we trust that God continues to bless you as your years roll on. Happy birthday to you.
Up next, we have none other than Pamela Auguste. Belated birthday greetings going out to Pamela Auguste. We hope you had a great time this weekend on whichever day that you celebrated it on, and that going forward in this new year, you spend it really taking the time out to achieve some of those goals, put your best foot forward, and that birthdays are really such a beautiful time to celebrate and to reflect on the life past and the year up ahead.
We have coming up Kimberly Kwashi. A very happy birthday to you, Kim. We trust that you have a day as beautiful as this smile on your face says, and that the new year is going to be one that is as pleasant and peaceful as things appear. Happy birthday to you from all of us here at Tobago Updates.
And last but certainly not least, belated birthday greetings going out to Olive Grant. I'm sure that you had a splendid day and that it was spent with all of your loved ones, that you really got some time to just celebrate, dance, sing, shout, give praises to Almighty, and that going forward in your new year, God continues to richly bless you. And this has brought us to the end of our birthday shout outs this morning. To those of you who did not make it on our birthday lineup this morning, we want to say happy birthday to you, and that you enjoy it, and that you ensure that you send all your information to us here at Tobago Updates so that we can celebrate with you. Now, Alex, what's in store for viewers this morning? What's on the rundown this morning?
On the rundown, we start talking with the credit union movement, not the association, but we're talking credit unions this morning. Stay with us and you certainly know which credit union we're talking to and why. Following them, we talk to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. That's a staple of our Monday mornings here on Tobago Updates Morning Show. And we close with the performing arts. Stay with us, it's a packed morning and I'm certain that you are going to enjoy it.
And viewers, there you have it. This is all that we have in store for you here on Tobago Updates this morning. Ensure that you stay tuned so that you can be a part of all of these conversations. And remember to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Looking for office attire or worship apparel, then come to Tia's Classic Closet. Shopping for casual clothing or just want to dress down. Big discount, so it's you on clothing and comfortable shoes. Get some wonderful accessories to match your attire. Come to Tia's Classic Closet at 39 Montgomery Road. Opening hours daily from 9:30 to 5:30. For more information, call 710-168-99999.
Who said the elderly can't have fun too? We're talking good food, proper music, lots of games, and a day at the beach they will never forget. From the time we left the compound at Heavenly Care Home for the Elderly, the vibe was already established. Wheels up and seatbelts on. Watch now, when we touched down in Pigeon Point, everybody was ready for excitement. But before anything could take place, we had to secure bellies. You ever play bingo by the beachside? Well, that was the first activity on the roster, and boy did these seniors have fun. However, others wanted something more physical, so we brought out the ring toss, and not even arthritis could have stopped them. Well, I was blown away at how straight these people were. Are you sure this is a home for the elderly? Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday, but nothing beats the song of Good Steel Pan by the shores while we take a dip in Tobago's finest water. Wait, more food again? This is my type of event. The energy was amazing and nothing short of a blessing. Pick up Heavenly Care Home for the Elderly, because joy doesn't retire, laughter doesn't age, and memories like these last forever.
To a stranger.
Sofa Factory is here in Tobago. Conveniently located Montessori Drive, Glen Road, Scarborough. Up to 20% off on select sofas for customization. Deals on some sofas from as low as $4,000 until stocks last. 10% off on all wardrobes. Half off on shower heads with the purchase of a vanity set. Come in and experience the new way to shop for furniture and see the quality in person.
Early prostate cancer has absolutely no signs or symptoms, and that's why we strongly push the men once a year, get out there and get screened with a digital rectal examination and a PSA, prostate-specific antigen, a blood test. Any PSA above 4 is abnormal. All men, once they hit 40 years of age, go and have that PSA test done.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
Okay. 335, 336, 337, 338, 339.
Counting on your fingers again. No wonder you lose your business.
Grandpa, thanks for helping me start over.
You not lucky in business, you know. As a child, you tried to sell hog plum. That failed. As a teenager, you and your boyfriend tried to break into the jewelry business. But hey, where that boy end up?
He live in Aruka in the Grove. The golden one.
Oh, child, if you want to get into business, you have to have your financial records intact. But do you know your numbers?
Of course, 62433.
No, child, your numbers, your ratios, your equity ratios. You have a financial handicap.
What?
You need to see somebody about that. Anderson.
Who?
Anderson in Trinidad and Tobago, they offer tax and accounting services. They know about financial management.
Grandpa, I started this business with nothing.
And nothing is what you will end up with unless you call Anderson Services. Here.
Okay, this card is nice.
Yeah.
What's this?
Your rental fee. Have business will pay rent. Hot and groovy in the soca party.
Courts is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Courts Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Courts Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning.
Make your goals a reality this season with Mount Pleasant Credit Union. Tobago's choice, we got you smiling. Come and feel that mid-year feeling, oh yeah. Mid-year island dreams, we make it easy. $20,000 to $100,000. Come and see, we warm hearts, bright plans, your goals grow. Mount Pleasant Credit Union, Tobago's choice. You know, every loan wants to prove more reasons to celebrate. Chance to win big, doesn't that feel great? Up to $3,500 in exciting gift certificates. Share investment starts as low as $2,500. Mid-year island dreams, we make it easy. $20,000 to $100,000. Come and see, we warm hearts, bright plans, let your goals grow. Whoa. Mount Pleasant Credit Union, Tobago's choice, you know.
Hi Tobago, it's your boy MC. Meet me right here at the Mount Pleasant Credit Union Monaco branch. Thursday the 21st of May, Friday the 22nd of May. From 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. as we celebrate our 75th anniversary Loan Expo. Loan Expo. Want to purchase a brand new vehicle? Check us here. You want to own a new home? Check us here. You want to start up a business? Check us here. Loans as much as up to $2.5 million. It's Tobago's choice. Vibes, giveaways. Remember, Thursday the 21st, Friday the 22nd, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monaco, Mount Pleasant Credit Union branch. MP, see you there.
Viewers, welcome back to Tobago Updates Morning Show. And as promised before the break, we're speaking to Mount Pleasant Credit Union. Here in studio, we have Julian Skeet, President, and Louis Charles, General Manager of Mount Pleasant Credit Union. And they're here to talk about the credit union's new initiatives. Good morning and welcome to you, gentlemen.
Good morning. Good morning.
Now, Mount Pleasant Credit Union is celebrating 76 years of service. What does this milestone represent for the institution?
Well, I want to start off by saying this morning, it's really a pleasure for us to be on chatting with you, Renessa, and we hope that we also chatting with, and let me be very straight to say, current members of Mount Pleasant Credit Union and incoming members of Mount Pleasant Credit Union, Tobago's choice. For us at Mount Pleasant Credit Union is really an exciting time. We are privileged to be celebrating, going towards on May 23rd, next week Saturday, our 76th anniversary celebration. And for us, because 75 was a great milestone, we began the celebrations in May of 2025, and the determination was made that we will have a year-long celebration, given the significance of 75 years going strong, Mount Pleasant Credit Union, Tobago's choice.
Awesome. Now, over the years, credit unions have evolved significantly. How has Mount Pleasant adapted to meet the financial needs of members? Give us a bit of history and how we are moving from the past to the future. Mr. Louis.
Okay, Mount Pleasant Credit Union started very humbly. Actually started in a grip, as they would say. And we have transcended where we had operating offices in Canby, went to Scarborough. Now we have 2 branches, both at Canby and also at Bonaccord. Over the years, we have increased our offerings in terms of products. We started simply with basically shares and deposits. We now offer fixed deposits. We have gone to the Golden Harvest account, where basically you save monthly to meet a certain target. You decide your target, and we decide how much you would save monthly, or you decide what you would save monthly, and we tell you the goal that you would meet over 1 to 10 years. You also have the FIP plan. Basically, it's a final plan. Basically, you have different tiers. It covers you from 10,000 up to 100,000. That is backed by also CUNA. And also over the years, we have increased our offerings to give vehicle loans. Right now, we're also giving mortgages. So, and also we have gone digital. We have our website. We also offer online services.
Now, I personally benefit from that online service. I found it very tedious at one point as my life got busier to constantly come to the credit union to fill out a book. So that was also one of their initiatives that they implemented. I personally benefit from. Now, you spoke about the vehicle and the mortgage offerings that you've added. Let's begin with the upcoming Vehicle and Mortgage Expo. What can members and the wider public expect from this event?
Okay, this event takes place on Thursday and Friday of this week. So we're inviting members to come to our Bonaccord branch to look at the vehicles offered by various providers, and also they have a chance to look at the mortgage offerings we have. So basically that is what is going to be happening. It's going to be 2 days of fun events. We are asking members to walk at least with a job slip, at least a pay slip, because at that event, quite apart from showcasing what you have to offer, we'd like members to become assessed. And depending on the documents you bring, if you bring all the documents, you could also have a chance to do your loan application one time. So you might come and see a vehicle you like, you qualify for. You go across to the office and you do your applications one time and for the loan. With respect to the mortgages, we want members to come in to see what they qualify for. Because far too often we find members, they sort of put the cart before the horse. They go and they design this elaborate house, and they come into the office and they realize they don't qualify for that. So the assessment would allow members to know what they qualify for, so they could guide their draftsman or architect in terms of what sort of structure they could build. And then also give them a chance to put their house in order. Because one of the things I try to advise members when they come to apply for a mortgage, try to be at least debt-free as possible. Or if you're not debt-free, try to be in a position where you could clear that debt that you have. Because if you come to the table with a large debt, that compromises the amount you could put towards the house. And you find that a high percent of the loan going towards the debt and not sufficiently going towards getting your house. So there's 2 things. And then we also advise them in terms of your qualification is based on your age, the retirement, and your income. All right, so those are 2 factors that we factor in when we're telling you how much you would qualify for. In the event that you don't qualify now, we try to guide you what you qualify for later. Now, the thing with mortgages is that persons, and I always remember one of my former bosses, he said that as a young person, you don't need to build this 3-bedroom house with 3 toilets and baths and all that. You could start with a starter house, designed in such a way that it could extend. So you might start single. As you get married, you'll be able to extend on that property, refinance the mortgage. So you'd have to start with the big. And even though we say that the mortgages are, 1.5 or 2.5 million, it doesn't mean that you have to you qualify for that. You could take what you qualify for. So you could, it's not 1.5 or nothing. You could get less than that once you qualify for it and you have to pay.
We often,
And it's important to note we have two of the options available, and you're seeing it on screen now. One being My Dream Home, which is up to a maximum of 1.5 million. And then there's the Build It loan, which is the other option that's available, up to 2.5 million, as in options available to our members, because what we're trying to seek to do is to cater to the varying needs of our members to ensure, that we're able to help you to build that dream that you've always envisioned, but we want you to build it at Mount Pleasant Credit Union.
Now, as we're relating to members of the credit union, they are individuals who would have sums in their deposits and in their shares. Does that factor into the qualification process as well?
It is, yes, it factors in, because one of the things the credit union likes to look at is a member savings pattern. So encourage members to start to save from small, from young, and build that saving pattern, because a member who's disciplined in savings will transcend their discipline in paying a loan. So that's very important. I must add, in terms of the interest rate on these offerings, for the vehicle loans, interest rates as low as 0.3541 per month. Now, think that against the regular interest rate is 1% per month. So you have a big reduction there.
Well below 1. We need to make sure that they hear that.
Also, the Dream It loan is 0.33% per month. Okay, now that works out to 3.96 APR if you want to compare with other financial institutions. Also, the Build It loan, which is basically for person building a property for income generation. The difference between the Dream It and the Build It. One is for residential, that's the Dream It. The Build It is for basically income generation. What it is you want to do for residential rental, for commercial rental, that is up to you, basically. That rate is 4.752% APR. That works out to 3.96% per month. So all these rates are very competitive. The term is very competitive too, because for the Dream It, you go up to age 65, and for the Build It, you have until age 75, because it's a business attached to it, so we go up to age 75. So and you have minimal deposit required, because part of the component in all these loans, the vehicle, the Dream It, and the Build It, we give the members, as part of the loan, a percentage back on their shares as a start. So while you have the loan going, we encourage members to, okay, we are giving you this to start with as the loan to get your vehicle, to get your house. We want you to start saving on your shares. Whether it's $100, $50 a month, so you start building your shares over time.
So viewers, there you have it. If you want to hear more about the expo that is coming up this week, you need to be there at Mount Pleasant Credit Union on Thursday and Friday. But we're moving on from the mortgage expo, the vehicle expo, we're moving on to membership. For individuals who are interested in becoming a part of Mount Pleasant Credit Union, what are some of the documentation that they need to work with to your establishment so that they can be members, so they can benefit from some of these promotions that you have?
Well, to be a member is very simple. All you require is 2 forms of ID, utility bill to show residential address, a job letter or pay slip, and for persons who are retired, proof of income. If you have a business, basically you want to see your business registration. We want to see your statements of the business for the past 3 years. That's basically it.
Now, we're seeing that there's another major initiative that is coming up. It's your education sessions program. Why is financial literacy such a major focus for the credit union at this time, and who are the individuals that you are targeting? And tell us a bit more about this session.
Well, I think for us, I see they have up 76. So let me start with 76 since it's up. Following the Thursday and Friday activities, which is the 2-day expo commemorating, really having that loan sale on, and we want to emphasize to persons our both branches will be open. But all these activities will be heightened at our Bonaccord branch. So if you're choosing which branch to visit on Thursday and Friday, let's just say it will be in your best interest to head down to the Bonaccord branch, because there might just be many other giveaways as well happening on that day. And if you're choosing that you're going to join Mount Pleasant Credit Union this week, let's just say Thursday and Friday at Bonaccord branch is the best time to join Mount Pleasant Credit Union in this week. And following that, on Saturday, which is our actual birthday, where we turn 76, we have our Thanksgiving brunch, and that would be taking place for the 76th anniversary of Mount Pleasant Credit Union. This takes place from 10 a.m. to 12. It is a members-only event. That simply means if you think you are interested and this is the credit union that you want to be a part of, mind you, you can be a part of more than one credit union. We're one credit union family. We encourage you to come and join and register. Today is actually the last day for registration for the Thanksgiving, and really the cutoff for registration is just to ensure that we are able to cater adequately to all the relevant families, all the members of Mount Pleasant Credit Union who will be registered to attend. So we're looking forward to your attendance as we commemorate, bring closure to that 75. Let me just say the 75 started for us in church. We visited the Moravian Church to start our 75th, Montgomery Moravian Church to start our 75th anniversary celebration. We went on, we would have had our member day where we provided eats and drinks and tokens to our members as we do each year, sports and family day, children's Christmas party, and then obviously we would have gone into several education initiatives across the year, and they would have been heightened quite recently, just as you mentioned, the education sessions looking firstly at effectively marketing your business digitally. That was done looking at estate planning for persons, planning to build. And the next session that we have coming up in terms of our education session is financial matters for business owners. And that's on Tuesday, the 9th of June at 5 p.m. That's Tuesday, the 9th of June at 5 p.m. All our sessions are online. And I particularly want to say thank you because we have had an excellent response to date. I think it's safe to say in some instances almost 100 persons logging on, and persons from not only in Trinidad and Tobago but even outside of Trinidad and Tobago seeing the need to check in, because we do not limit our education sessions to members only, because quite clearly we want that by the time you have come to an education session you start making arrangements to join Mount Pleasant Credit Union, because we are here for you. So certainly that has been excellent for us in terms of the response. And we come up with these topics and these areas based on the work of our education committee, hearing the needs of our members. And that is what is fundamental for us. These are areas that our members would have expressed an interest in. We want to know about, we want to get more details, and so we try to always respond to the needs of our members.
Now, it's interesting that you mentioned the estate planning. This is another topic many people avoid discussing. Why is it important for Tobago families to start having this conversation, and why did Mount Pleasant Credit Union see the need for it? What were some of the gaps that you've observed over the years?
Where to start?
The issue for me is that what you find happening is that when somebody passes, there is a lot of issues in terms of who the estate goes to. Persons don't plan, they don't think about it, and they don't plan for it. So you find you leave your siblings or your family in a sort of abeyance. So we think it was important to have that, so that transition becomes seamless. Okay, so you have your house, you have your lands, you have money in the bank. You want to say before you die who those properties, who those funds, who those resources should go to in a seamless fashion. So whether you do you do a will, one of the things that was advised, or basically you make some arrangements to have these things in joint cost ownership, so that when one person dies, it passes on seamlessly without any headache.
And you see, it's just to remind persons as well about the reality. There will always be fewer willing to take care of you when you're alive and going down than the many that will present themselves to benefit from what you have. So help us, so that when you are no longer here, there are clear indications and directives, so we know where, we know exactly how to treat, and that's what we wanted to share with our members. You're not too young to begin to plan. From the time, as the presenter would have said, from the time you begin to own assets, that is your time to start planning. Should something happen to me, who do I want to derive benefit from that? And I know you had asked as well, Renessa, about membership. And for us, it's a reminder to all persons that becoming a member of Mount Pleasant Credit Union, very straightforward. mpcutobago.com. You can check us out online, mpcutobago.com for Mount Pleasant Credit Union. Once you get online, we have all the information available there. The forms are available for you to download, membership forms. The online information is available for you to download. We have the listing up on screen, and it's also available online, telling you clearly what is required. And once you are able to acquire the necessary documents, feel free to come in and allow us to be able. And now we have the benefit. You don't even have to wait on an appointment. You can walk in and become a member of Mount Pleasant Credit Union.
Now, at the beginning of this interview, we saw some videos across the screen. It's a mid-year loan promotion offering incentives and prizes. Talk to the viewers a bit about when it ends, what are some of the things that they can expect, and how they can really benefit from these promotions that you have currently going on.
Okay, so the mid-year loan promotion it's a yearly thing, a yearly promotion that we have at the credit union. Members could apply from $20,000 up to $100,000. Basically, you start with as low as $2,500 security. Part of the proceeds goes back on your shares as security, and you have between 3 to 5 years to repay. You see about that you pay the interest up front, so you see a flat amount being reduced every month as you pay your loan. You have a chance with this promotion to have a choice of 3 interest rates, as low as 0.5%, as 0.75%, or 0.9%. So when you come and you apply for the loan, you basically, there's what you call the wheel of chance, or the wheel of choice. Wheel of choice. And you basically spin to determine your interest rate. At the end of the promotion, you have a chance to win one of 3 prizes. $3,500 first prize gift voucher, $2,500 gift voucher, and $1,500 as gift voucher. It ends on the 30th of June, so you have a chance to win for every application that is done. You have one chance to win one of these 3 prizes. All right. We have a co-sponsor that has sponsored one of the prizes, that is Sherwood Foods Limited, whose principal is one of our members of the credit union. All right, so we try to partner in that regard. So members, you have until June 30th to apply for this loan.
As the song rightfully says, it's Mid-Year Island Dreams and Mount Pleasant Credit Union, Tobago's choice.
Right. Now, looking ahead, what is the vision for Mount Pleasant Credit Union in the next 5 years? And we want to ensure that we increase offerings for our members and ensure individuals have that opportunity to really achieve some of their financial goals. What are the future plans for Mount Pleasant Credit Union?
Well, I think I want to put it in financial terms in the first instance. For those of us tuned in, especially our members, at Mount Pleasant Credit Union, like any of the institutions, we would have faced our challenges coming out of COVID. And, we would have been at a point where we have been able, over time, to offer our members in terms of dividends on their shares, which I think is one of the fundamental differences about the credit union movement, and Mount Pleasant Credit Union is no different. For us as a credit union, that's our fundamental point, that we always seek to see how on an annual basis, because throughout the year, we want to assure you, as you may or may not know, there are no charges that are applied monthly as some others. That does not exist at the credit union, and it does not exist at Mount Pleasant Credit Union. At the end of each year, there is what is an annual general meeting where we go to our membership, and the membership collectively decides who will continue to take that leadership forward. Again, I'm not sure that you can do that at all other institutions, but you can do that at credit unions. And then more than that, you decide collectively how the surplus for a year will benefit the members by way of dividends and going back to the funds that you have there. So essentially, you could have had $100 on your account for the entire year, and you stand to benefit at the end of the year, because that 100 will not go down, it will only go up. We have had the benefit in years gone by of dividends ranging, surplus I should say, ranging in the vicinity of about 6.4 million. We've had surplus 7.1 million, 7.6 million. Certainly we want to get back and to exceed those points, and we're saying safely up to last year we were just around 9 million, and we are hoping that in this year year we'll exceed that 9 million to give again even more to our members as part of giving back. Yes, further to that, the credit union is a responsible institution, so as to benefit our members, we also ensure that out of that surplus there's a reserve. That's a requirement by law. So it seeks that in any challenging times, in the same way we went through COVID, there might have been a little more challenges and we were still able to sustain and to allow our members to benefit. The education fund is also a critical component of what we do as a credit union, and hence the reason we're able to offer all that education and training to our members. So part of it also goes towards that. But as I said, crucial, I know that our members always look forward to dividends, and in no doubt at all, we've ranged to the 4 million, the 6 million, the 7 million, and we're hoping that once again, in this year, coming up for the AGM that will be upcoming after our anniversary celebration, that we will once again be able to offer you even more consistently as Mount Pleasant Credit Union.
And gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for coming on this morning to share your offerings, to talk about your 76 celebrations and what your members and even potential members can expect in the next coming days. We also want to say thank you for staying right here with us. Remember to stay tuned and share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Sun Up Tobago presents Solara. Celebrating the 9th edition of your favorite party in the East, where style and good vibes meet. Get ready for the food-inclusive cooler experience you love. This July 4th, we return to the East, bringing you the perfect blend of mouth-watering food flavors, premium vibes, and unforgettable energy.
One thing more than fear understood. When girl, good girl.
Grab your cooler, hold your crew, and escape to Tobago's ultimate vibe. Join us at 4 p.m. at the Delta compound in Argyle. Get your tickets now at Waterhole Bar and Pablo Supermarket Argyle, Barcode Scarborough, Eco Sports Dudley Park, Nijon's Bar on the Esplanade, and Jane Monkey Crown Point, or online at eitheretickets.com. Sun Up Tobago, Solara, 9 years strong. Your favorite party in the East is calling. Saturday, 4th of July, Delta compound Argyle.
Our world is filled with rhythm. Rhythm that's unapologetic, infectious, timeless. Rhythm is commitment in action. It's how we show up for each other with unrelenting support that goes the distance. Rhythm lives in the tiny beats of our most intimate moments and the seismic roars of our biggest achievements. Rhythm is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the rhythm back. At Flow, we understand your rhythm because we live it. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You're at the heart of everything we do, and our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing, no matter what.
Nice.
If I have to call a supervisor one more time to sign off on a customer because their financials are in a mess, I will scream.
Hey, don't scream in a bank. That have lockup in it.
It's either they're not registered properly, or you know what? We could just forget about annual returns, right?
Compliance is a bad word to most of them. Haul your compliance out of here. But let me eat.
What is wrong with Trinbagonians? I mean, it has so much help they could get out there.
Well, you know, Trinis, we don't like to spend we money.
But you know what? Be comfortable with losing we money. That make it any financial
sense. What people should do is call Anderson in Trinidad and Tobago.
Wait, what? Anderson in Trinidad and Tobago?
Anderson in Trinidad and Tobago Tax and Accounting Services. Yeah, they offer help from registering your business to filing your tax. My lunch is over.
Wait, tell me more.
No, go and scream in the bank. You go and scream in the bank.
No, I don't get one sooner.
Okay, I find you taking long to play the card. Come on, tell you. I'm all in time, so good, but. Look at it. Yo, what's good you went by?
Buying Bishops, boy.
Bishops?
Yeah,
sure,
we know the baddest has come out of Bishops, sir.
The baddest?
But telling away.
We know the baddest, boy. One night and I is the baddest.
My Bishop is the best, boy.
Yo, what's going on with Toddler? What's going on? It's only one way to settle this. We'll be live on Youth Voice TV where I, your host, Multibass, will be hosting the Rep Your School DJ competition where DJs will go head to head in a crazy battle to secure the title. We have cash prizes of $10,000 to come out and win and a lot of amazing prizes. Guys, what are you waiting for? Let me come out, come and showcase your skills. Come let me do some juggling.
So guys, there are two categories for DJs that are out of school up to 35 years. And for the DJs that are currently in school, it must be up to 19 years of age. So guys, get ready. It's all about Rep Your School. It's all about the DJ competition.
Who will bring the best vibes? Who can control the crowd? And who will earn the bragging rights? You get a chance to be a part and witness the rise of the new DJ generation. So this is Youth Voice, Rep Your School DJ, live on Tobago Updates. Stay tuned.
Youth Voice, Rep Your School DJ competition. Rep Your School.
And I have never, ever tried anything from the dirt oven.
Let's go to the backyard dirt oven on a Thursday. And talk about authentic. On entry, I felt at home. I felt like I was going to visit my loving grandmother on a weekend. The kind of weekend where she showers you with love, stories, and food. This place is a home away from home. And just like I would do at home, I popped the question, what you had to eat day? And boom! Coconut drops, boom, bread, boom, garlic bread, boom, hops, boom, coconut tart, boom, jam tart, and boom, something they call nuts. And just like that, Mistress Baker was ready to pop them in the oven. And don't worry, she had some help. And while we was waiting, I said, let me hear from Mistress Baker herself.
Well, we've been operating for a couple of years now. We started, this was a COVID project. We operate strictly on Tuesdays only. You don't keep stock, we only sell on Tuesdays.
Such a sweet lady. Hey, Olia, it's ready. When last you see a nice golden brown bread, sir? Backyard bakery for the win. Olia, a GT. I finally get me the oven bread with a little extra goodies on the side. You might be asking, where they're located? They are located on Bukuru, right on Nightingale Avenue, right before Racetrack Wheels if you're coming from town. Just look for the green hedge. You can't miss it. Pause. Check out the menu they one time. Honestly, guys, this is an experience I will never forget. It's a home away from home, a place filled with love, life, and most importantly, good bread.
Make your goals a reality this season with Mount Pleasant Credit Union. Tobago's choice, we got you smiling. Come and feel that mid-year feeling, oh yeah. Mid-year island dreams, we make it easy. $20,000 to $100,000. Come and see, we warm hearts, bright plans, your goals grow. Mount Pleasant Credit Union, Tobago's choice. You know, every loan wants to prove more reasons to celebrate. Chance to win big, doesn't that feel great? Up to $3,500 in exciting gift certificates. Share investment starts as low as $2,500. Mid-year island dreams, we make it easy. $20,000 to $100,000. Come and see, we warm hearts, bright plans. Let your goals grow. Whoa. Mount Pleasant Credit Union, Tobago's choice, you know.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Yes, welcome back. As promised, we're talking performing arts this morning. Joining us is the newly appointed director of the Tobago Academy for the Performing Arts,
What
Mrs.
is happening?
Alma Gordon Holder. Good morning
Good morning.
and welcome.
Good morning, Alex.
And she's wondering what is happening. I wonder, was this something that you aspired to?
I always aspired to do different or more. I was a teacher at Scarborough Secondary School for 20 years. A job in which when I first started, I said, I'm going to do 5 years and then turned into 20 years. Because every year I met a bunch of students and I said, oh no, I can't leave this year. This group too good, you know? But
are you saying now that you've met the group that you can leave?
No, actually, this last group was very hard to leave too, you know. But I mean, I felt that I needed to make a change, you know. I felt that I'm going to be a certain age soon, and I felt that something different would make sense to do, which is what I did. So this new role is very exciting for me as artistic director of TPAC. I'm looking forward to a difference, to something. It's not much difference, but a nice change. You know, I still be teaching, of course, because you never stop teach as a teacher. But it's a little different. I'm looking forward to it.
And here on the island of Tobago, we have so many great opportunities in terms of our theatre space, the dance, the heritage, and the culture.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the visions or the things that you would like to implement over your tenure as artistic director with TPAC?
Wow. Well, I'm looking forward to, you know, beside meaningful, to shape new, exciting local talent, of course, and create opportunities for Tobago's creatives. But also, because TPAC plays an important role in the creative industries, as we, you know, and I feel like that's important because shaping tomorrow's talent and it's something somebody has to do it, and I think it's our job to do so. Yeah. Our next big project is Tobago Heritage Festival opening night, which we're excited about. Last year we collaborated with the Tobago Festivals Commission Limited. And they did When Time Meets Twine, which was received by audiences with, you know, really well. And we're kind of looking forward to that collaboration again this year. And the theme this year is Let We Tell the Whole Story. And we're kind of excited about that. You know, it will be another immersive type of experience, incorporating dance, drama, music, film, and we're kind of excited about that storytelling experience and what's going to be like. Yeah.
Part of the story, in my opinion, of the performing arts in Tobago is that it is often not promoted as a viable option for a livelihood. It's often not offered to our young people as a career path. How do you view your role as artistic director, the working with the Tobago Festivals Commission, and the existence of the Tobago Heritage Festival as a kind of staple on the Tobago calendar to point our young people in the direction of performing arts in the space that we call Tobago? I have met quite a few good playwrights, but some work in agriculture, some teach.
Right. Well, well, that's a really good question, and I thank you for that question. Coming out of teaching and stepping into this role, which is quite interesting because we have what we call, as part of the CSEC and Cape syllabus, theatre arts, but CSEC and at Cape we are performing arts, right? And for me now, in this new role, I'm seeing how we could make that allow students or encourage students to make that transition, particularly because we have some really amazing upcoming performing artists, playwrights, script writers coming up. And our job, I think, now is to just show them or point them in the right direction. I think sometimes what happens is we have a lot of parents who say, well, so what's your plan B? And that happens. That comes from their homes.
Told us about that.
Yes, yes.
It's
something that we have to fight on a daily basis. As a teacher who teaches performing arts and theatre arts, but also as an activist or a culture, as an artistic director, that parents, people, families, institutions tell them, listen, that's not a viable option. But it really is, especially when now, as this division, tourism, antiquities and culture, and creative industries, we're now looking into ways of making it possible for young people coming up to get into the creative industries. Because in case we're not sure, creative industries is a very viable option.
Very lucrative as well.
Very lucrative. I mean, and I'm saying, even if you do not want to become a performer, there technical theater, you could become costume designers, set designers, and these things make a lot of money. Lighting, sound, very lucrative careers in the performing arts. And I think people don't know about them. That's why they do, look into them. People, all this, because of that old time taboo about what it is, Now,
as we're talking about that transition and ensuring that our young people have that outlet, there is the Way Forward auditions. Tell us a bit about that and those individuals who can be a part of these auditions.
Right. So coming up very soon, we will be having auditions, mostly by next week or so. But you have to look out on the socials for Tobago Performing Arts Company, Instagram and Facebook. We will have online registration for persons who are interested in performing dance, drama, music. And so we're looking for everyone, all ages. Just if you're interested, come through. There might be a space for you, for sure. So pretty soon, maybe if not this week, we'll be putting it on the socials at Tobago Performing Arts on Instagram and of course Facebook.
If you were not successful at the auditions this time around, does it mean the end of the road? The end of the road? That's the end of the journey?
It doesn't actually, quite honestly. With this, I didn't want to, give out too much, but under this new AD, we have the CEO and myself have been talking about other avenues where people can audition for Tobago Performing Arts productions and stuff, and be part of the process. So that's something that we're looking into very seriously, and we're kind of really excited about those type of projects, because coming out of, especially for me, coming out of the education system for a short period, we know quite a few performing artists who could be trained to become a performing artists, becoming part of Tobago Performing Arts in the future, and it's really exciting to be part of that journey. To look forward to being there, I know earlier I asked you about your vision for TPAC during your tenure, but in terms of long-term goals, I know when an individual takes over a new role, they would have their set of goals and visions that they would like to steer a particular direction. Are there things that you would be implementing during this time so that maybe the person who comes after you can continue on this trajectory to ensure that our young people and also the future of TPAC is bright? Of course, because at the moment, we also assist in different festivals on the island. For example, we have the Maple Festival coming up soon, and that is something that they have approached us for the residents to help out, resident dancers to help out with in the different primary schools concerning Maple Festival, and we're kind of excited about that. And so some of those things are some of what we'll be expected to do, but also after the opening night, which is our biggest project at the moment, we have some other things that we want to roll off before the year is over. It may not be as large scale, but we want to try to incorporate TPAC with a lot of the other younger persons and see what can happen within this space, at least for this year for my tenure.
You know what's interesting as well? Something I've always noticed while I was growing up, there were things about our heritage here on the island of Tobago that I was not privy to. There were things you would see in passing, but you would not understand the concept or the idea behind it, where it came from.
Right.
Are there any plans or initiatives going forward in your tenure that you would hit each primary school, each high school, give them a bit of a taste of Tobago? I know I've seen it happen in the past, but I'm speaking about on a grander scale. Is that something in your vision here with TP?
Of course it is. Because for me, a big part of why I do what I do, you know, is education. I feel as having been in the system and seen what students, what people are not aware of, and it's such a weird, it's such a strange thing that so many of our young people in Tobago growing up here don't know a lot about our heritage or our cultural artifacts or anything. And I think we won't go into why, but that's something that I've noticed. So for me, a big part of this dispensation for me would be education, finding ways to educate the people, the young people, in who we are as a people and what we're capable of and what's possible and what we have here as, you know, as our culture. Yeah.
Well, as we come to the end, they say time flies when you're having fun.
When we're having fun. Yes.
So as we come to the end, just remind the viewers of the nearest activities, the upcoming auditions and stuff,
right,
as we come to the close.
So, right, we do have auditions coming up not this week, next week. We ask that you look out on the socials for the information. It's going to be posted soon. We're going to do online registrations. We reminded that this is in collaboration with the Tobago Festivals Commission Limited, and that the socials that we're going to use will be our Instagram page, which is at Tobago Performing Arts, and of course our Facebook page. Yeah.
Right. There you have it, viewers. We want to say thank you very much, Mrs. Alma Gordon Holder, for joining us and for sharing. And congratulations on your appointment.
Thank you. It was my pleasure being here. It was good talking to you all.
We look forward to all of you as are artistically inclined to go out and be part of the auditions.
Definitely.
And know that you can find a bright future in the performing arts.
Of course.
Some way or the other. Thank you again for joining us.
Yes, we have brought us to the end of the show this morning. We want to remind you to stay tuned. The GMT is up next. Remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world. You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
Tonight we gather not only to celebrate achievement, but also to recognize the collective effort that continues to strengthen workplace safety and health throughout the Assembly. This ceremony serves as the culminating event of the Department's commemorative activities in observance of the International Labour Organization's World Day for Safety and Health at Work 2026. Tonight is especially significant as we celebrate 12 years of the Occupational Safety and Health Department leading these initiatives and hosting the Usher Awards ceremony.
Tonight is both a celebration and a call to action. We recognize excellence, commitment, leadership in occupational safety and health, but we also reaffirms a principle that must guide this assembly. Safety is not optional. It is not symbolic, and it is not event-based. It is a legal obligation under the OSHA Act, Chapter 8808. More importantly, it is a leadership responsibility.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly. The Trinidad and Tobago Cancer Society, in partnership with Republic Bank and the Division of Health and Wellness, brings to Tobago, under the global Relay for Life movement, Tobago Moves. Across more than 35 countries, communities come together through Relay for Life to celebrate survivors, honor loved ones, and raise funds for continued cancer support and research. Relay for Life Tobago Moves is carded for July 11th, 2026.
Tobago Moves signals the beginning of a new and exciting chapter, one rooted in deeper collaboration, shared purpose, and a collective commitment to advancing cancer awareness, education, and support across Tobago. It is our partnership, and we are incredibly proud to initiate with the clear intention of strengthening collaboration over time so we can better serve the people of Tobago and create a lasting, meaningful impact. On Saturday, 11th of July, Tobago Moves will come to life through two major activities. The first is a 5K run event kicking off at 3 p.m. from the Republican Car Park, followed by a high-energy burnout session designed to keep the momentum and the spirit alive.
It is truly a privilege to stand with you today in partnership with the Trinidad and Tobago Cancer Society as Relay for Life crosses the waters and graces the shores of Tobago. For the very first time with the Tobago Moves initiative, today's launch represents so much more than simply an expansion. This is a powerful testament to our shared commitment to reaching more communities, deepening impact, and strengthening the national fight against cancer. At Republic Bank, we are deeply humbled to be one of the title sponsors to our Power to Make a Difference program, as we believe that real change happens when we choose to lead with passion.
I truly want to commend the Cancer Society for its continued advocacy and support to persons and families who are navigating what is possibly the most difficult experience they can get. I am actually happy that as a society, we have gotten to the point where we can actually see the word cancer. Remember when it used to be the big C? And we couldn't even say the words. So this advocacy really shows that we are moving in the right direction. I also wish to acknowledge and commend Republic Bank for recognizing that corporate leadership must include social responsibility. This collaboration is important because it really demonstrates that improving the public's health is everybody's business.
As the hero of hope for 2026, I encourage you to be part of Tobago Moves 5K as we celebrate our survivors and honor our spouses, children, family, friends, and caregivers, because you are the real heroes. Tobago Moves is not just an event. This is not just another 5K. This is a journey. One where we walk together to honor the courage, resilience, hope, and love of all survivors and those who stand beside them.
Registration is open for Tobago Moves 5K and Energy Burn session. To register, search Tobago Moves at www.raceroster.com. To become a sponsor, contact 280-3353 or 280-4536. Part of the Mainridge 250 Commemorative Week, students from various schools took part in a historical reenactment of the 1776 debate, which legalized the protection of the Tobago Mainridge Forest Reserve, marking a significant moment in environmental history.
Mr. Speaker, I am grateful to this House for its time. I am aware that the crisis in America presses upon every mind in this chamber. I will not take more of the House's time than the matter requires, but I will ask the House's patience because the matter requires more than a moment. I have been bringing this proposal before the Parliament in various forms for 11 years. I have been told it is too early, too theoretical, too cautious. We must develop the island first and worry about the consequences later. Mr. Speaker, later has arrived.
Mr. Speaker,
my role today was the main character of Swami Jennings. He wanted to bring this motion forward for the past 11 years. It took some training. Thank you to my teachers, the organizers and stuff. They did a really good job.
I played Lord Hartley today. He's a calm person, like he is but he's concerned about things, but he's not, as he said, he's not unsympathetic to the scientific argument at all.
It is my first time in a debate and it has been very, very fun so far. I wish to do it next year.
250 years ago, Swami Jennings and others of that period were thinking beyond their time. They were building a future. They understood that by preserving the Mainridge Forest for this present day, is protecting Tobago's watershed, natural resources, and long-term well-being for generations to come. Because of that foresight, Tobago became part of the earliest examples of environmental policy in the current world.
I was so elated and emotional. Actually, some tears came to my eyes while the school children were debating, because to see the pressure that this guy, Mr. Jennings, went through, spending 34 years in the British Parliament and for 11 years fighting to have the reserve declared a reserve.
I was your faithful narrator, and I believe I did a wonderful job. The experience was nerve-wracking, wonderful, exciting, fun, really enjoyable to really, just get involved in nature, learn about Tobago, its history.
The forest was finally protected by law permanently. Unfortunately, Swami Jennings died in London on the 18th of December, 1787. He was 83 years old. He never saw Tobago, nor the forest he saved. The Mainridge Forest Reserve
has stood for 250 years. It is registered as the oldest legally protected forest reserve in the entire Western Hemisphere. The decision was made in London, in a chamber much like this one, by men who never stood beneath those trees. 250 years later, we sit in the very institution that grew from the council their resolution. The trees still stand above us. The rains remain in the forest. All because someone once chose to protect what they could not see.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise. The energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers, we are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying Tobago is number one. I am you and you are me. Together we stronger. Good morning Tobago. Good morning Tobago. Good morning Tobago.
Good morning and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host, Chanel Felix. Ladies and gentlemen, you know whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. This morning, before we jump into our conversation, we go straight into our news in 90 seconds. Chief Secretary Fali Augustine has broken diplomatic protocol in a raw public statement declaring that Tobago is hurting and damn vexed over the disappearance of 2-year-old Angelo Tobias Plaza. Augustine explicitly rejected what he called the Nancy stories being peddled in the Goodwood toddler's disappearance, stating that a 2-year-old does not simply vanish or navigate ditches to the ocean in pitch darkness. He demanded total accountability and immediate prosecutions if neglect or wrongdoing is exposed. Additionally, following immense public outrage, the Commissioner of Police assigned a dedicated legal officer from Trinidad and Tobago and deployed additional resources to the Child Protection Unit and Homicide Bureau. The TTPS confirmed that the missing boys' parents are assisting police with the inquiries as the search of the Studley Park dump continues. And finally, In infrastructure news, the Division of Education has officially opened a call for skilled local contractors to join the School Repair Program 2026 to upgrade educational institutions across Tobago ahead of the upcoming academic term. Interested contractors have until May 25th to submit their credentials via the Division's online portal or the advertised QR code. And that was all news in 90 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, it's no secret that the conversation on everyone's lips has to do with the disappearance of 2-year-old Angelo Tobias Plaza. Many questions surround the child's disappearance, and this story broke last Tuesday, whereby it was reported that the child went missing around 7:30 p.m. from his Goodwood home. Now, we are 7 days from that missing report that was made last Monday night. We are at another Monday and the child has yet to be found. Many questions are still around where persons are asking, how could this have happened? Even the Chief Secretary in his statement has really asked, how could it be possible that a child that is 2 years old could have wandered off into the sea or any nearby ditches at the particular time that the parents have indicated. Over the weekend and the last couple of days, we've seen coverage on this story from media personalities such as Ian Allen talking about the disappearance of the child, interviewing members of the community, even the parents at the earliest point, and hearing from them directly. Members of the public has hinted or questioned the state of emotion of the parents compared to that of the child's father, who came up from Trinidad with his mother after hearing the news. Persons are saying that the response from the child's mother and stepfather are not what one would expect from grieving parents. Ladies and gentlemen, this morning we are having a conversation on this topic, and we are doing so this morning with Mr. Brent Smith, who is the president of the Goodwood Village Council. Good morning and welcome.
Oh, good morning to you and the wider viewing public, Trinidad as well, and everybody who tuning in. I suspect this is also international, as we hear post this morning from a Grenada post. So, good morning to all.
This is not just a local story. This is an international story, an international question mark, as we would put it. These are the type of stories that we often see covered on true crime podcasts, or, you know, those shows of like Criminal Minds that we see on YouTube, where there's the sudden disappearance of a child and nobody seems to know. And when you do all the investigations in these type of stories, it always comes back to the parents. Tell us a bit about the energy, the emotion, and just the overall state of being in Goodwood as we speak.
Well, yeah, different type of grief. And we have to understand everybody grieving different. But I would say it's very grief. Some people choose to keep silent. Some people not mingling. Some people holding candle vigil. Some mothers crying. But everybody feeling it. Everybody feeling it. How we express that grief is no telling in everybody have their way. But right now, everybody feeling it for that little boy. And I have some choice words to make. I hope you have enough views for this, because I have some choice words. I don't like what's going on as the president of the village council. My village hurting, right? Go to end like what's going on, right? And them parents there telling lie, right? No, this is my view, right? Let me just go straight to the point and done. Yeah, let me don't waste nobody time. This is what I believe. Their mother and their father abandoned that child. That is the facts. We could argue where the child ended up in the sea, in the bush, in the cemetery, but we cannot deny that the parents was not home when that child had disappeared. The time that they given 7:30 is not true. They come home later than that. And I believe the authorities must find something in law. If you look at the house, when I was 2 years old, when you was 2 years old, your house board up with a set of plank coming across in every doorway to protect children from crawling out and going over. None of that in the people's house. How you go do that? It's a 2-year-old man. You have children, the sea close. The fact that the sea is close to your home should give you the inclination or give you the vibes to put up extra barricade around your house. When Mr. Ian Allen, you could look back at his interview, interviewing the father and the mother, you see any barricade there in front of the back door where you said the last child was? He was playing with the truck. You see any barricade there from a 2-year-old? The only thing fact here, right? We don't know what happened to the child. We could assume 1,000 different things. The fact here is that they was not home when that child disappeared. So you could say somebody kidnapped it, child in the sea, and that is cause for action.
However, the search has moved or expanded into the Studley Park dump, which raises questions of the culpability of the parents and what do they truly know. Persons are speculating anything at this time because we know that in the absence of facts, speculation becomes the fact. And so it's a point where everybody is speculating what could have happened to Angelo. And we have heard some of the most far-fetched theories, and we have heard some of the most eyebrow-raising theories that say to us that this search cannot just be concentrated to the sea, and that persons ought to start looking in every direction, every corner and crease of the island. Tell us a bit about the actual search that has been happening in the village. Reason being, during the interview with Ian Allen, we saw that the parents were at home during that time. And during that time, a number of persons in the village were outside looking for that child, which raised a number of questions. Persons were asking, how is it that the entire village, the entire Tobago is outside looking for your child and you are at home? And, seemingly unremorseful.
Well, not only that, not only that, right? The fact that when people say their opinion and ask questions, the mother fighting them. If you notice in the clip, it's fighting taking place because somebody has asked a question and it possibly ain't going in she favor. So she want to fight people. Why the arrogance? Why that kind of behavior there? Everybody is a 2-year-old. Like, you don't understand is a 2-year-old? You don't get it is a child? Why you behaving like that? You understand? So there's a lot right now. Anybody who talk to that boy or associated that boy the name Shannon, in for questioning. People afraid him right now. Right? As you talk to he or he call your phone or something, it's jail. You understand? Because the question just keep getting more and more and more and more. But as I say, the one fact remains is that they was not home and they abandoned the child. Benzo said they abandoned the child.
Okay, there has been questions about the last time that the 2-year-old...
But just now, let me say something. I want to, just now, miss, forgive me. I want to say the search and rescue team that they're doing a real good job because they scrape the whole of good wall to wall looking for that child. Wall to wall. All down in the dump. What from yesterday? Yesterday was Sunday. When the child went missing, not last week before. If they put the child in the dump, let me go down that rabbit hole because another suspicion. That ain't cover up because they just cover up the dump every day. You understand? So to me, it's sad to come to this conclusion, but the search have to end at some point. We cannot search for him forever. You understand what I'm saying? We cannot search for him forever. It is a sad thing. God bless all those who put forth their hand in assisting here. But that mother and the father, they all should make a jail for child abandonment. That is what my view is.
Persons are questioning whether the timelines, not only as it pertains to the search and discovery to the fact that the child had disappeared, but the timeline to which the child actually disappeared. Persons are asking, did he really disappear on Monday night? And these questions continue to be on the lips of persons listening to this story. There has been so many contradictions as it pertains to what was said and the evidence that is being presented. And some persons are even praising Ian Allen for having those interviews before they entered custody. You know, in that there's always that level of public record to reference before they go into custody and possibly present any other stories, or when the evidence is presented that it aligns with what they had initially said in that interview.
Well, if you're looking at timeline, possible facts, right? They did put out on the media search begins 7:30, right? Which evidence proved through the camera footage otherwise, right? We could see that is clearly not 7:30, so you tell lie there. You understand? You abandon your child for a drink and a smoke, as far as I could see, right? So, and then again, too, they said, but people the morning did report that they hear the child crying. So I don't know how all that play into the timeline, right? So there's a lot of speculation, miss, and we could go on and on and on and on with this. If you could give me the correct word here, this thing around the mulberry bush stories and trying to timeline and all these kind of things, right? It is clear, right? And I believe the police and the legal authorities should put a proper case together. Believe it have enough evidence for the abandonment case. 7:30 when you say you was there was not there. So anything could happen to that child when you're not home and you don't have no kid in your house. Anything could happen. Now, 1,000,000 things could happen. You understand? And we could there arguing all day about what could happen.
Right.
But you abandon your child.
There has been so many questions about whether you know, circumstances surrounding the child's disappearance or possible death could have been something pertaining to abuse or just an incident that occurred because he was neglected, whether they came back and his body was found lifeless. There's so many speculations about what could have possibly happened. But all we as the general public or as journalists can do is to ask the questions, and as you indicated, with the asking of questions, a lot of tensions are flaring. We saw during the week that there had been conflicts, you know, erupting because of an interview that was done by one resident in the area, and it was said allegedly when the mother saw the interview, it caused a level of confrontation with persons. Even as it pertains to the vigil that happened last night at the beach in Goodwood, there was or has been a public statement put out by the family indicating that they have not sanctioned any official vigil, and that any vigil that has been taking place has not been from them directly, and they would alert the public when they are ready to have one, or whether or not any type of giving is happening, that it would be referred to directly to the immediate family members. Well,
let me address this. Right, I'll have to say something. Right now, gone are the days when a village raised a child. Right now, we live in a society where everybody minding their own business and they choose to stay to themselves. So if you hear and there's no abuse taking place within many homes, and we choose not to get involved because we want to mind our business, right? My heart goes out to the Tobiases, the Plazas, and even the Millers, right? Who are the families closely connected. But there's no one person authorized over prayers. There's no one family have the right to authorize or not authorize who should pray or who should not pray. We should all be joining together. I would agree that nobody, because there are scammers out there, let's be real, and nobody should attempt to collect money on behalf of anybody else. Right? If you want to keep up prayers or any kind of vigil for anybody, you could do that. You could do that. Right? We are all hurting and we grieve in different ways. Right? We're supposed to come together. Right? And this goes to show there's a division within the community. Right? We are communities. You understand? And they have the families have a right to the privacy of grief. They could grieve privately. Right? But they shouldn't stamp an authority on people who want to pray for Angelo. You understand? This is not this is beyond one family. This is an international thing. So we're trying to tell me. So people in America should ask authority to keep a vigil, or in Grenada? No, anybody could keep a vigil. Just don't collect money pretending use other people. I get that. I get that. That's dishonest. And I understand that part. Right? But we are all grieving in our own ways, and we should be allowed to grieve in our own ways. Because in my view, you wouldn't find anybody. You understand? It going down the hole, that it going that way, but you're not going to find anything. You're looking like that. Right? We pray that they find something, true. But this is how much days now? How much days now? So I am asking for some sort of closure and bring this thing to an end. Right? Because it is going on and on.
We totally
going on and
understand
on.
that. And we want to make it clear from the perspective of the television station Tobago Updates that at this point we are only asking the questions that are out there in the public, and we are allowing our viewers to give their perspectives or the perspective of our viewers, and even myself as a host, as it pertains to the speculations that are out there, are not a reflection of the overall television station Tobago Updates. But we ought to ask the questions that are out there in the public. When you see persons frustrated, when you see persons posting on social media, we ought to bring these concerns to the fore and show this is what is being said in the public right now, and these are the speculations that are pervading because we lack the fact and we are unable to truly hear the true story. You said that, even as the president of the village council, you have lost faith in, the idea that the body or even the life of Angelo Tobias Plaza can still be found at this point in time after 7 days. It just shows the level of sadness, grief, and frustration on the part of the community and the people of Tobago during this difficult time. And we are hoping that the investigators that are working on this particular case are truly equipped with what it takes to get to the bottom of this. Because although we may not be able to, as you said, possibly find Angelo, we ought to get some level of closure. The truth ought to pervade. We also heard in the last report that the mother and the stepfather have been separated for questioning, and as the investigation continues, I recognize that the TTPS has refrained from using words such as interrogation and suspects. However, we know that in a situation like this, usually if there are no true answers being given, if there's no real direction that the investigation is taking, and the parents have been found lying in that their stories are not adding up and it contradicts with the facts, particularly as seen on CCTV cameras, they become suspects in the case. They become the main suspect, but we have not seen the TTPS go to that place, and persons are asking questions. Why? Why has it not gone to the place where they are deemed the suspects? What are your views on that?
Well, my view on that is that the public wants answers. You can't vex with the public, right? The public has we demand some sort of closure. Let me use that word. But the police has to follow their protocol, and they have to follow the process, as tedious and long as it may be, because when you go to court, you don't want to now lose your case. So they have to take the time and get the information accurately. I will agree that it should be faster, But this is where we at. And we, as much as we have a problem with the police and Coast Guard and all these people, we have to leave them, give them the chance to do their due work. If you notice, they're very careful with words, which means in a case like this, they have to follow the books because this is international now, right? This is a reflection right up to the National Security Minister. So all processes have to be followed, all T's have to cross, all I's have to dot. So I'm not vexing the police, right, for taking the time and putting the thing together. But I would like to hear the report when it is done. I waiting to hear the report, just the public. So if the police need to take the time, no problem. Take your time. The public wait patiently waiting on your report because you take time. All right, so that's my view on that.
Right. And, you know, finally, as we round off our discussion this morning, what is the current status of the Goodwood Village Council as it pertains to this particular matter? How would you guys be moving forward, and what are some of the actions that you are currently taking?
Well, the only action that the Village Council take, because we are the villagers, actually, the Village Council is the villagers of Goodwood, right? We could only show support for the families and everybody who showing support, right? There are people down by the bay as well, right? I don't want to mention too much of names, but there are people down there, as you could see, showing their support, and we could support, right? You know, they need water, and they hold it down, they hold it till 11 o'clock, right? And that's the most we could do, and listen, right? And that is what we could do. We really can't do anything else after that, right? The most we could try to keep a little vigil, right? And ask everybody to come together and stop this, you know, if there's any division, mend the division, right? And who requires privacy, keep privacy, and who wants to go public, right? And we really just want to bring this thing to an end. That is the actual truth. Right?
Right.
This thing going on here, right? So that is my appeal to the
Finally, is there anything that you want to say to the viewers or the villagers looking on this morning?
Well, we are praying people, right? Most of us, I should say. And what in the dark must come to light. And if we trust God and we believe in God, we will trust in His word. And His word said, what in the dark will come to light. And it will come to light sooner or later. Right? So I appeal to the villagers and the wider to be calm, allow the process to continue. Right? And you're free to ask questions and you're free to pray holy. Right? So that's it.
All right, so we want to thank you so much, Mr. Smith, for being here and for the work that the Village Council has been doing to support the family at this time and to band together as a community to lend all the support that you possibly can, whether it be through holding a midnight vigil or just through coming together and praying or just asking the relevant questions that ought to be asked or trying, you know, your best to piece the puzzles together as it pertains to the last time that Angelo was seen, or when was the last time the parents were seen, or just offering CCTV cameras from your house during that time. As little as you think that might contribute, it can do a lot to help solve this case. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break right here and we'll be back with much more after this. See you soon.
Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks a favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are beauty.
Coming up, spending quality time in Antigua and Barbuda in the Carnival Zone and with some ocean inhabitants. The kids delivered as always on the track and in the pool. The power to make a difference, supporting great initiatives in St. Kitts and Nevis. There's a true Jamaican feel amidst the grandeur at this hotel. Another milestone for Trinidad and Tobago tourism. It's all next on this station.
Sun Up Tobago presents Solara. Celebrating the 9th edition of your favorite party in the East, where style and good vibes meet. Get ready for the food-inclusive cool experience you love. This July 4th, we return to the East, bringing you the perfect blend of mouth-watering food flavors, premium vibes, and unforgettable energy.
One thing more than fear understood. When girl, good girl.
Grab your coolers, hold your crew, and escape to Tobago's ultimate vibe. Join us at 4 p.m. at the Delta compound in Argyle. Get your tickets now at Waterhole Bar and Pablo Supermarket Argyle, Barcode, Scarborough, Eco Spots, Stubby Park, Jones Bar on the Esplanade, and Jane Monkey Crown Point, or online at identickets.com. Sun Out Tobago, Solara, 9 years strong. Your favorite party in the East is calling Saturday, 4th of July, Delta compound Argyle.
Sofa Factory is here in Tobago. Conveniently located Montessori Drive, Glen Road, Scarborough. Up to 20% off on select sofas for customization. Deals on some sofas from as low as $4,000 until stocks last. 10% off on all wardrobes. Half off on shower heads with the purchase of a vanity set. Come in and experience the new way to shop for furniture and see the quality in person.
Nice.
If I have to call a supervisor one more time to sign off on a customer because their financials are in a mess, I will scream.
Don't scream in a bank. That have lockup in it.
It's either they're not registered properly, or you know what? We could just forget about annual returns, right?
Compliance is a bad word to most of them. Haul your compliance out of here. But let me eat.
What is wrong with Trinbagonians? I mean, it has so much help they could get out there.
Well, you know, Trinis, we don't like to spend we money.
But you know what? Be comfortable with losing we money. That make it any financial
sense. What people should do is call Anderson in Trinidad and Tobago.
Wait, what? Anderson in Trinidad and Tobago?
Anderson in Trinidad and Tobago Tax and Accounting Services. Yeah, they offer helping from registering your business to filing your tax. My lunch is over.
Wait, tell me more.
No, go and scream in the bank. You go and scream in the bank.
No, Antoine, don't get one sooner.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Ladies and gentlemen, this morning we jump straight ahead and we're chatting a bit about technology and the inclusion of technology in our daily operations here on the island of Tobago. Today we are chatting with a student from the Brooklyn College who is a computer science major who have developed app, I believe, or software as it pertains to the TTPS operations. We're talking about a bus tracking app that helps pedestrians or persons traveling on the bus to be able to track where the bus is at a particular time. Now, this morning, good morning to you, Mr. Ned. We're talking about what that looks like and what that means. Now, we know that there have been a number of conversations as it pertains to the inclusion of technology in the operations of the PTSC. They have indicated that the new buses that are coming on stream have GPS trackers in them, and a part of their strategy is to include the integration of the GPS with Google Maps, and persons would be able to use Google Transportation in order to utilize or see where the buses are. Just as if you travel anywhere, you can always look at how do you get from point A to point B, what buses you can take and what times that would arrive. But tell us a bit about what you have been working on and why you think it is useful to particularly the Tobago context.
Hi, good morning. So firstly, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Nicola Ned. And what I'm bringing to the table here is a comprehensive piece of software. It's not just an app. It's from operations right down to the part where the passengers see every single day from traveling. So you mentioned Google, and I don't think these companies in the first world parts care much about Trinidad and Tobago and just like Caribbean countries in general. So it gets a little bit dicey when we start depending on these technologies, and it's looking to these countries to kind of help us, and that isn't always the case because we aren't prioritized. Because sadly, the currency and the rate of conversion from a financial perspective isn't all that profitable for them. So what I'm bringing to the table is something built by a Tobagoan for Trinidad and Tobago. And, just trying to like lead the Caribbean, I would say, from a technological perspective, and just kind of bring something that we as Tobagoans could be proud of, to know that, hey, we bring something and we could push it out into the Caribbean. This isn't just built for Trinidad and Tobago, but it's a statement to say like, hey, we are over here doing this, and we could like start branching out into different Caribbean countries. And I could imagine this could create like jobs in the future. It could create more opportunities from a technological perspective. When you look at companies like the Facebook, the Snapchat, the what have you, they bring in billions for America, China, and in the Caribbean, I don't see us making much technological advancements, and I'm trying to pioneer that. I would say that
Right.
that task.
Right. And have you had the conversation with the the PTSC or even the Transportation Department? Because from my knowledge, as I indicated in my introduction, the conversation has been in the space for a while as it pertains to PTSC moving towards a digitally integrated system that moves along with the buses as it pertains to them putting GPS trackers on not just the buses but on maxi taxis that are concessionaires as well. Have you had those conversations to see how far along the development chain they have gotten, and if they can integrate what you have created into what has already been done? Or are you saying that this is something that you would like to sell or even donate to Trinidad and Tobago?
I would say like, yes, we had a lot of conversations, and those were like good conversations as well. But like there are steps to bringing certain things to the table, and as of now, like the technology isn't necessarily there, and I wouldn't like say too much from or paraphrase from the PTSD side, because at the end of the day, like they're a company, they're a business who needs to maintain a certain standard. But I definitely think that what I'm bringing to the table, I don't see it coming to the passengers or to the people of Trinidad and Tobago anytime soon. I think that there is some sort of version of it that may be created or can be created, but I already built the program and have it, and it's here. It's not a this is like a full pilot ready to go, right? So it just switched out, and if I do this, we would see it pop up over here. So it's ready to go. It just needs to be optimized at this point to be able to push out to the general public. But we are in talks with people, right? I wouldn't necessarily go into the specifics because we know how that could go from a political perspective, but we have had fruitful conversations.
Right. And we know here in Tobago, we have the Tobago TITL, which is the Tobago Information Technology Limited, who have worked on similar projects. Do you have any connections or conversations with them to try to integrate what you are doing into what they are doing? Because I'm aware of a proposal from them to also create a similar platform. And we know that collaboration is always beneficial to all. If you are integrating what you already have into what they are working on or into what they already have and just making it even better and even more possible to get it out there into the public for Tobago.
So no, we haven't had any conversations with any local like tech businesses, and that's simply because tech companies, they have like specific visions and goals, and I think sometimes, although we're going in the same direction, sometimes we may have like different methods to achieve that specific thing. And what we built here, I think it's kind of like taking a piece of first world and just turning it and twisting it to suit and serve the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And I think like partnering could be wouldn't be as positive for the overall vision. But what we are doing as of now is putting our information out onto Instagram, Facebook, and like these social platforms, and people are reaching out to us, right? So we have had someone reach out to us as well from Trinidad, very powerful, and that collaboration would make sense. We haven't had the chance to have a full sit down to really talk through what that could look like and options and stuff. But just going back to it, tech companies tend to be a little bit more, like the vision is very strict. And
Right.
sometimes collaboration may not necessarily be the best thing, especially if we're building like the same product. Like if you have a payment system, it would work well.
Okay, just for clarity, TITL is a state-owned entity, which is the Tobago Information Technology Limited. They are a state entity under the Division of Education, Skills and Innovation. I get that from what you were saying. So it's not necessarily
I thought it was a private
a competitor, but more I think that there is actually great opportunity for collaboration there. So I would try my best to make that connection for you off air.
Thank you very much.
To ensure that you can, because we see that there is a lot of area for working together. You are a Tobagonian, you are out there in New York, operating in a system where this type of technology exists efficiently, and it is important to have room to express yourself and contribute to what Tobago is doing as we move forward to being a more digitalized system. And one of the areas to do that is through collaboration with the persons who are moving in that direction positively, in a way, of course, where everyone can benefit. So I know that you don't want to integrate into a system and then your ideas get lost and you no longer have intellectual property rights off of what you have worked hard on. But you want to ensure that there is the opportunity that you don't hear a situation where someone says, well, Well, somebody already doing that already. Well, that's already been done. We already have that covered. But rather to be in a place where you can say, okay, well, although it has already been in train and it's being developed, I can still have input there, because there may have been areas that they missed that you can bridge the gap with. And I think that your idea and the technology integration into transportation is necessary, particularly for our tourists who come to Tobago, you know, giving them that platform to be able to seamlessly traverse the island, specifically when it's a situation where they're only here for one day. No one wants to spend 2 hours trying to maneuver getting transportation to and from their destination, when that time can be spent truly enjoying the scenery of Tobago. So I think that this is such a great innovation that you've worked on, and I think that the bridge to where you want to go is definitely through partnerships, but that is just my opinion.
Yes.
And I hope that you know, you do give it some consideration to see this software come to light. Again, I know you said that you already had those conversations with PTSC and that you are working behind the scenes to really get it integrated. And so we really hope to see something like this come on stream very soon. However, let's take a realistic look at what this system is like currently.
Okay.
There is a pervasive lack of consistency as it pertains to how buses run on the island. It is the truth.
Yes.
There's often times where persons are not sure when a bus would leave Scarborough to get to their particular destination, because Tobago suffers from a shortage of reliable PTSC buses. So I know there is the conversation about fixing the reliability of the actual system, rather than, you know, you sit on a bus, you sit at this bus stop, you look at the app, and the app cannot play any critical role in traverse and in helping you in your transportation if there's actually no buses to take you. And so there is the need for us to continue to advocate for the necessary resources to be placed into improving the actual public transportation system on the island, as we have these ideas to improve the technological capability of what can be done. Right?
Yes, correct.
Right, but
Can
again, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say, can I add to that? I think like one major issue in this whole situation is that when we buy in, when the PTSC is buying buses, right? We're like, majority of these buses were designed for a certain terrain, and then bringing it into Trinidad and Tobago, which has, you know, like a uphill and a this and a that, you know, a lot of corners and stuff. A lot of money go to maintenance, right? And this is something that we know if we actually like look into the financials. And this is why like buses aren't necessarily reliable. And I mean, like there may also be like scheduling issues, but it's a shortage of buses, right? And I think like what the app does is give people the opportunity to, okay, you're coming to our bus hub, or like you're using the app and it's making an instant connection, like, is a bus running, yes or no? And I could show you something on the app here. Right here, if I switch back over here, it has like, this would show all the routes that are scheduled and all the routes that are cancelled. This has every single route slot. So if you're using the app, you would be able to kind of like plan your day around the whole situation, right? Because going back to, like, I'm from Lance for me. So the bus was very important. It was an imperative piece of my life, like, period. So I would like to give users the opportunity to say, hey, okay, you get up this morning, you check the app. Like, how are the buses running today? Can I depend on it today? Yes or no? Right? And I think like this is very important, right? So we have like all the scheduled routes, and then we have cancelled and delays. So users wouldn't be sitting around for hours when they could see like, okay, this slot is specifically cancelled. Let me look for an alternative to get home. Right? So
yes,
it's a financial issue that wouldn't be solved in terms of getting more buses, because buses are expensive. I think the new initiative of getting the electric buses could run between like $500 to $1 billion. And this app is basically would come in like very much cheaper and give users that ability to make decisions on a day-to-day rather than sitting by the bus stop and waiting for like 2 hours, then finding out the bus not going to run, or like little things like that, like you get stuck in town because the harbor master isn't running, but then you're waiting on the harbor master and then it didn't
Understood.
run. What next?
Right, yeah. I can definitely see that assisting persons with how they plan their day or plan to utilize transportation. So I think that's a great way of also looking at it that I did not consider. And so I really truly hope that you do get this to be integrated into the current system, whether it's ready with the buses or not. Because, the way how I would have looked at it is that we already don't have efficient bus schedule. But you included an important piece of the pie there, a great perspective as it pertains to, well, this can also help persons to plan whether or not there is a bus, whether the system is fully efficient or it isn't. And so we look forward to really seeing how this evolves, whether it be through partnership or just through private sector intervention, whatever way that it goes, that it truly is or does redound to the benefit of Tobagonians and those utilizing the public transportation system. Before we end our conversation this morning, is there anything that you want to say to our viewers looking on, possible partners, possible policymakers as it pertains to the work that you have done on this particular software?
Yes, I would like to say, like, my last words would be basically this isn't an app, right? And it's like going back to it, like looking at it for what it is. I think we need to take like a broader step. This is something that this is a piece of technology that is very innovative and it could make a lot of changes. It also has a payment system in here that could start training people on the day-to-day to start using a digital ticket in a sense. So moving forward in 2-3 years time, people of Trinidad and Tobago would have that habit, building healthy habits to go digital. And I think a lot of people tried it, but where they fail is they just try to take everything online too fast and people get confused and then don't use it. But what we're doing is keeping everything cash based, right? And taking things digital while keeping it cash based. So people of all ages, from the seniors to the youngest child, could still go to a shop, right? Come here and then basically like top up in the ticket and go onto the bus and then like scan to pay. So this is a broader initiative of digitalizing Trinidad and Tobago rather than just attacking the bus situation, right? We're a solution company. We're not a bus app company. It just happened that the bus app is the first problem that we're trying to solve, right? So to all people who are in high places that could reach out and basically like give us assistance or, partner up with us as long as the vision aligns. Because going back to it, the statement I made earlier, it's more about vision than intellectual property. I could care less about if I lose the intellectual property. It's more about the vision and that Trinidad and Tobago gets from point A to point B in 5 years rather than we just like use the thing and make a mess of it and then in 5 years, no progress. Right. So,
all right. Well, we want to thank you so much. I want to say congratulations to you on a powerful innovation that can truly help to digitalize Trinidad and Tobago's transportation system. And we look forward to seeing it coming on stream very soon. And we're wishing you all the success with your company. Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, this is where we end our morning show this morning. We want to thank you so much for your likes, your shares, and your comments, and all that you have been doing and continue to do to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, I am Chanel Felix, and have a great day.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the sky.